Hey everyone, welcome back to an all-new episode of the podcast show that you love very much. It is Video and Arcade Brothers, a show where we talk about video
games and collectibles.
Oh! We got that this time. We got that this time. Good job, Rick. You were right on that bull there. So, guys, yeah, you were there. So, guys, welcome to the show. Of course, this is going to be talking about the hottest news that happened this week. And I think the three of us have chosen one major thing that happened this week. And, of course, that was the Disney Plus stream. Well, I shouldn't really say it's a stream. It's definitely a beautiful set of upcoming shows and movies. CarrHero with the host, as always. Thank you, buddy.
No problem.
So we're going to have a lot to talk about today. We're going to have a lot of fun. D-Money, of course, she's in the chat. Welcome. How's it going? And today's going to be another fun one. We're going to make some jokes. We're going to have some great stuff going on. And I think everyone's excited. What are you guys? You guys ready to get this going?
It's rock and roll, baby.
Oh,
Let's do this.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to be talking a lot about Disney Plus here. All three of us have chosen a topic of the Disney Plus thing. And mine is something that's pretty huge that I'm very, very happy with. Me and Rick grew up watching this cartoon in our youth, and we are so excited. I'm pumped because it is one of Marvel's favorite superhero set. One of my favorite characters and favorite franchises of the Marvel Universe. You guys know I'm a huge DC guy, but I do like some Marvel properties, and we're going to be talking about the sequel to 1997's X-Men, the animated series. Now, I am that's a go, buddy. I am super excited for this because, like I said, out of all the Marvel characters, there's only three Marvel franchises that I love the most: Spider-Man, X-Men, and Daredevil. Those are my top three characters that I grew up loving from the Marvel universe. Of course, like I said, I'm a DC guy. And you can go off with DC. I know my DC stuff, but yeah, today we're talking about Marvel. We're talking about the Disney Plus announcing that they're going to be extending this world of 1997, which we're in 2021. This of course is going to be premiering in 2022. That's a long stretch from those years, and I want to see how the animation is going to be. Like, we just basically got a logo, which you guys can see right now on the screen. X-Men 97 showing the main cast of X-Men characters. And my thing is, are they going to keep the same style of animation, or is it going to be modernized for today's audience? I hope to God it... Yeah, I hope. Yeah.
There's no way they sway from that original. No. There's no way they do that, especially with the title X-Men 97.
Yeah.
I can't see them budging. It'll look more HD and everything like that for today's
for sure
standards. But I think I'd be shocked if it's anything other than the original animation.
Yeah,
there would be a lot of people upset.
There'd be a backlash. Let me just say that. It'd be a backlash. It's funny because we've talked about other animation shows here on our podcast, but like I don't think we've ever addressed that. The animation now is very, very different to say when the three of us were in our elementary days. Things have clearly changed. I find personally for me the animation these days not all animation. There is some that kind of go to the same formula as ones that we grew up with. But I find animation these days very dumbed down. And I mean, like, you feel like the shows are aimed really at a very young audience, compared to back in the day where it was very different. You had people who were very, excited to watch these shows because the story would continue. You had to watch the previous episode to understand what was going on in the second. So now with this, we're gonna see hopefully that formula come back, and create a more awesome X Men stories to tell. They went through a lot of them in the show, but there is a whole shitload of stuff that they can go on from the comics, and I'm excited to see how they do that. This might bring back X Men because, of course, with the films, Fox owning the rights, they weren't bad movies. There were some that were worse than others, and I enjoyed those movies for what they were. But I'm very excited to see the X Men finally come into the Marvel universe that we have now, and done right. And I mean done right because I really want to see someone other than Wolverine get the spotlight. As much as I love Wolverine and he's Canadian and it's great, I want to see the characters like Rogue is my favorite. I want to see her have a bigger part. I love Cyclops. I love Jean Grey. I want to see them kind of get that push, because of course Cyclops is the leader of the X Men, and I want to see more stories of his background. There's a lot of great stuff with Scott that I think will be really really great, and I'm hoping that the series is as good as the first few seasons of the show. Of course, at the very end, the same thing happened with the Spider-Man show, and for those who don't know, they also did a Hulk TV series, cartoon series, I should say, a Fantastic Four cartoon series, an Iron Man cartoon series, and an Avengers cartoon series, all in the same time that the X-Men and the Spider-Man show was going on. And the company that did it lost a lot of money, and you can tell that the animation eventually before the end of it gets very poor, because they lost the money. They couldn't keep up the production, and they used a lot of scenes from previous cartoon episodes. So I'm excited for this. I'm happy to finally see X-Men in the spotlight. What do you guys think?
Oh, I'm excited. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
Rick, you watched it. You watched it growing up.
Oh, I
so
watched it. Yeah.
yeah.
But it's funny because me and Danny watched X-Men a lot back in the day. But I think for me I watched more Spider-Man. But obviously I love that series is like from my time period, of course, from my childhood anyway. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait.
like-
I hope. Sorry, I hope they have the same opening theme
I
for
was
it.
just gonna say that,
Oh,
man.
sorry, dude.
Poor guy got himself cut there.
That's okay. The opening song, the opening cinematic, like it's iconic. Show itself, it's iconic. I worked with a guy that he loved this show. Like he was one of the first guys I sent the link to once Disney announced it, and because
Nice.
I knew he'd be jacked up when he saw, because he grew up on the X-Men cartoon, and
Yeah.
I didn't watch a ton of it when I was younger. And it's funny, once I got Disney Plus, I actually, because we were talking about it where I work, I ended up jumping into a few episodes on Disney Plus, and it still holds up. Like, and the story's good. And I didn't fly through the series or anything like that, but I watched a few episodes, and I can see the appeal. And I love X-Men in terms of, I think it's one of the more interesting. I'm with you, Danny. I think it's one of the more interesting sides of Marvel, and that doesn't get the love. It did get the love. Don't get me wrong. It had good movies, and like First Class and Days of Futures Past is like two of my favorite superhero movies. So I really get sucked in with the X-Men story. So I may have to go and just binge the animated series before they come out with the new stuff, because I don't know, do they tie this in? Do they pick it up where the old one left off? Do they start to tie this into what X-Men is going to be in the MCU? Like, who knows what Marvel has up their sleeve and what they have planned. I think, I heard you, Rick, you think that they're just going to pick up where they left off, which would make sense. but I wonder if there's also going to be ties to now how they intertwine that into, because X-Men's coming to the MCU, right?
Yeah, they're
So
eventually coming.
So happy about
it'll
that.
be interesting to see if they use the animated series to sneak their way in and tie something there. So it'll be cool. I'm excited. That's a huge announcement in terms of animation with you guys. Myself, we grew up in that era of animation. For it to be that style animation, hopefully, fingers crossed, coming back and modernized, maybe it's the start of a trend, and maybe we start to, because what are they going to do with the new Spider? They announced the new Spider-Man animated show too, right? So like, what's the animation going to be? Is it going to, are they bringing back the old school cartoon style feel, and is it going to start a trend? Hopefully, because like Danny says, that's the animation we know and love, and it kind of shows better, I think, than what the animation is currently today. And I get it. It's more appealing to the younger kids, is that new computer animation. But for us, and your audience is going to be us for X-Men.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And if we had kids, they'd be watching with us. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what they're going to do here, is because like all the parents that have kids that are X-Men fans or superhero fans, all of a sudden they're going to be like, Mom, Dad are watching X-Men, and they're not going to care that it's the old animation. They're not going to think that anymore, because it's going to potentially start that, hey, we're going to come full circle here. Here comes the old school animation. It's coming back. Everything circles around. So maybe this is the time. Maybe we're living that period of time. And it's exciting. It's exciting. So I'm pumped. I'm going to check it out regardless if I binge prior to or not, because I know enough of the X-Men story. But it'll be cool to see that come back. I'm excited.
You know,
well, like, sorry,
Dan. No, go ahead.
Like going off of what you just said, Josh. A lot of the, like, there is a trend. If you actually notice, like, animations, like, it's so popular right now. Like, if you notice, even on Netflix, like, a lot of they're bringing back a lot of the shows. Like, they got the new He-Man show on there, right? I mean, it was before you were born, but it's coming back.
And they animated it the same way, right?
Mm-hmm. They animated it the same way, so yeah. I think there's a trend. I think there's because people our age, like in our age group, want that animation to come back.
Yeah.
Because there's an audience for it. At the end of the day, there's an audience for it, and they just got to fill it, and then it's gonna explode. Like I cannot see. There's no way this does poorly.
No,
I don't think so.
It's hilarious because like people want good stories, and I think that's what's missing from the American side of animation. Whereas with anime, which is Japanese animation, they are full story. There's no, you might have ones that kind of stray away from the main storyline, but that is always a full story. You have to watch the beginning to the end to understand what is going on. You can't just jump into an episode. It's not just crazy nonsense flying around every 5 seconds. You have a full story. And it's funny because there's one thing I want to point out. There have been, I believe, 4 different X-Men animated series. And of course, there's 2 others that are one of my favorites, but there is one that came out after this one, which was called X-Men Evolution. That is the best ever animation. I literally love that show with a passion. And the funny thing about that is, you'll never see it on Disney Plus, and I can tell you why you'll never see it on Disney Plus.
Too adult?
No, it's not owned by
oh really?
It's not owned by a Marvel company. So what happened was Warner Brothers, who is the the owners and the creators of DC Comics, actually made and produced a Marvel X-Men show. Now, this was at the time where Marvel was losing money. We remember before the Marvel Universe, they had to sell rights off to different movie studios to get their properties, and that's how they got their money to make the Marvel Universe that we have now. So yeah, that's one franchise you'll never see. I'm sad because that lasted 3 seasons, but no, 4 seasons. And the trouble is I don't have it. The last season never released on DVD, which makes me so angry because I wanted to have that complete set. But at least I can always watch that. But yeah, that little movie trivia for you guys. But
Never
yeah,
say never, though. You never know what Disney's gonna do with the money that they have, man.
unless they
Yeah.
buy the rights back from from Warner Brothers,
Hmm.
it's definitely a thing. And you guys are going to see that trend happening on today's show. And we're going to talk a lot about different rights and the loss of rights and stuff coming up. But let's move on with our news, guys. X-Men's coming next year. Hopefully, we'll see, like I said, and like Josh said, hopefully we see a trend of great freaking animation come back. All right, Rick, what do you got for us this week? What's your news for movie talk?
Well, I'm gonna go talk more about Disney Plus Day.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna talk about Marvel, and they showed a couple trailers. They showed trailers for She-Hulk. They got a trailer for a show called Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got a show called Miss Marvel. So there are 3 other new characters coming to Disney Plus. And the one show the show I'm excited out of the 3 is Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything about the character.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he looks cool. Like I've seen a lot of it, like his look kind of looks
Yeah.
like Batman,
Yep.
and kind of looks like the Batman of the Marvel universe,
Mm-hmm.
and deals with Egypt, and I love Egypt, and I'm just curious. And the character has a lot of disorders, like he's got different personalities and stuff. So I want to see how that plays into the series. And it actually looks a lot. It looks a lot darker than a lot of the Marvel stuff. So it looks like it's going in the direction of like the Daredevil Netflix series. So
I
if
hope
you
so.
guys ever seen if you guys ever watched the Daredevil Netflix series, it's similar in that style, and it looks really cool. I like there was a scene, one of the shots in the trailer. It's him running on the building, and there's a moon, and he jumps from one building to another.
Mm-hmm.
Just jumps to the moon, and then you see his costume from far away. They didn't really they didn't show his costume, but they show him just
They teased it.
they teased it. They didn't get didn't get the full reveal. So I was like, damn it, I want to see what it, I wanted to see the whole costume. But yeah, I'm out of the 3. Like, obviously, I'm excited for all of it. But
No.
the one I'm most excited for is the Moon Knight, just because I like Oscar Isaac. He's a really awesome actor, and I want to see. I just want to see how he's gonna do that role. And yeah, I'm pumped. What do you boys
Yeah,
think?
you're educating me a little bit here, Rick, because I didn't look too much into I haven't watched that trailer yet, and I didn't
Yeah.
even realize he was playing Moon Knight. So I'm just kind of looking on
Mhm.
my phone as you're talking here, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
exciting because I'm a big fan of Oscar Isaac as well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some good work obviously with the Star Wars franchise as well, and
Mhm.
the character looks badass. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
He looks
What
cool.
this is the I had this conversation with my wife yesterday, just because this is kind of where Marvel's heading. I guess we're gonna start to see a lot more properties we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's tough because like it's easy to get excited for Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America because it's names that we know,
Mhm.
and so now we're starting to see like the Shang-Chi's and the Eternals and Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Like all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know much about this, so it can go one of 2 ways. Like Phase 1 was obviously like crazy good for everyone. Like we grew up on those characters. Phase 2, I don't know how to feel yet. Like I'm excited for the phase. It's just there's so many things that I don't know that it's
Yeah.
just like I can't feel the same way that I do when I'm going to see a movie about a character that I know or at least I've heard of.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
like it's great that they're pumping out all this content. At the same time, I think there's a chance that you start to lose some casuals and you're more appeasing the diehards in terms of Marvel. It's great that we're all getting educated on more superheroes than just like the Avengers, and this is who everyone knows. So it's cool. I'm just a little worried. Like I don't know. I'm getting this
Yeah.
feeling like I don't know if I want to see every Marvel movie as soon as it hits the theaters anymore. Like,
Mhm.
but it's early in the phase, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
everything could change. But right now, I'm kind of at that point, and I just feel like with Disney pumping out all this stuff, it's overwhelming. As exciting as it is, there's
For
a
sure.
lot
Yeah.
of stuff coming out, and I'm just like, if I'm gonna stay on top of Marvel, how many things do I need to watch? Because it's becoming a
Really,
lot.
they're really
Yeah.
pumping a lot, man.
what
That is
it's
true.
it's funny though, like we brought up how you brought up how The first phase was great and stuff. But there is certain characters in phase one that I personally did not think I was gonna like. I personally thought that they were gonna flop. I thought, and I'm gonna name off some franchises. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, Danny, you took the words out of my mouth.
All right, so
like, that's my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was going to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, go ahead, keep going, keep
so
naming.
we got that. I'm gonna put Ant-Man out there. I at first when I heard that they were making an Ant-Man movie, my first thoughts was like, really? They're making a movie on that guy? That guy sucks. But the trouble is that it proved us wrong. It proved us wrong that Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty much like a D/F ranked character in the Marvel universe. But like you said, Josh, you love him. That's one of your favorite Marvel movies, and it's a lot of people's favorite Marvel movies. It was done great. The characters were interesting. It was fun. It was different. The same goes with Ant-Man. It was fun, exciting, and it actually made me care about the characters. And you talked about the main characters. I'm gonna put out there because it needs to be said. I goddamn freaking hate Thor. I hate Thor. I hate. I can't freaking stand those movies. I never liked Thor as a character. And no offense to Chris Hemsworth that plays him. He does a great job, but I fucking hate that character. I'm not gonna lie. I have no interest in seeing anything of him.
It's funny you say that, Danny, because I've literally watched no Thor movies other than Ragnarok, and I liked Ragnarok a lot. It surprised me. Again, It was one of those movies that surprised me, and I'll give Thor his time to shine. That scene in Infinity War where he comes down and the lightning strikes the hammer, that is one of the most badass scenes. I love that scene. But I'm with you in terms of the movies. Like, Thor doesn't pull me in, but I will credit him where it is due. Chris Hemsworth does a good job as Thor. Yep. There are some great scenes with Thor, but I'm the same way. Like, I'm not into his story or his movies, but I like Loki. I like Loki a lot.
Yeah. Which is funny because, of course, Loki is his brother, but I just can't stand those movies. I can't stand the character. I find I remember when I went with Rick and we went to go and watch the Dark
World.
Dark World.
Thank you. I absolutely hated it. I absolutely hated that movie. Watching that movie in theaters, I thought I was gonna hang myself in the chair. I honestly can't stand his movies. He's great as a person that's mixed with a cast of different superheroes. That is great. Like, he's great in Avengers. I find him funny in there. He's perfect for that. But I can't stand him. Another character that I actually really don't like, a solo movie of. There's one movie, it was okay. It was decent. But I'm not a huge fan of the Hulk. The Hulk is another character that I find, for me personally, really, really boring. And, it's with Edward Norton's movie, The Incredible Hulk. It was a decent movie. I liked it for bits and pieces of what it was, but I don't think a single Hulk movie would be like, I need to go and see it in theaters. But there's another character, and it's one of my favorite Marvel movies, and I didn't expect to like it at all. Doctor Strange. I absolutely loved Doctor Strange, a character that I never grew up liking. I didn't read a comic book. I didn't think is. It's the perception that, like you said, we have all these new characters coming that we have to get, familiar with and learn about. Moon Knight being one of them. She-Hulk, I'm not that great into it. Miss Marvel is another thing. I've seen her in a cartoon series, but that's pretty much it. But I like that we're getting these new characters popping out. Me and Rick were having a discussion the other day, and I keep bringing this one up because, like I said, DC guy. But with Warner Brothers and their movies, before they did the extended universe, basically the only two superheroes that would get a movie were either Batman or Superman. Now we're finally starting to see that push to all the other amazing characters that are in the lineup. I have no interest to see, another Superman right away. I'm not I'm not dying to see another story. I want to see new characters. And it's the same with Marvel. Like I'm not fluent in Marvel. It's like it's basically I'm learning as I'm going, watching these movies. We went to see Eternals, and of course, each of us have a different opinion on how the movie is. I liked it. I personally liked it because it's my style of story. I thought it was I thought the stuff was cool and different. And that's another like it's not making me go and want to read the comic book, but I'm interested to see where the Marvel universe goes. The only thing I want right now is, like I said, I want a new X-Men movie because that is my shit. I want to see a solo Daredevil movie with passion because I love Daredevil, and one freaking character that I'm so freaking excited for. I want them to finish the movie, and it's Blade because I love vampires. I love vampire hunters, and that is the Marvel movie that I want to see. I want to see what they're going to do now. Now that stuff is getting darker, and Moon Knight, like Rick said, seems to be a darker atmosphere.
Yeah, it looks like it looks exciting and looks badass, and yeah, like I don't know, it's just kind of what I'm that was my I had to bring that up on today's show because I'm just like it's just the sense I'm getting, and that's me personally and my wife. We're just kind of like I used to be so well, I'm still excited to see I'm so excited for Spider, but the thing is I'm excited for Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like that's something I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And I can't even say I was super excited for Shang-Chi.
Yep.
I went and saw it and
loved it, right?
oh my god, dude, like that movie was incredible. It's top 5. That's a top 5 Marvel movie for me personally, and
Easily,
that's not recency bias anymore because like it's been a while to sit on. So like, and again, even Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy, me and my wife, I remember when the trailer came out, we were just kind of like, movie's gonna be either really good, surprisingly, because we didn't have an expectation, or it's just gonna suck because like what the heck is this? Like I said, it's my favorite Marvel movie of all of them. And the amount of importance that movie holds in terms of the phase 1, it's Thanos. Like Thanos
shows up in there.
Like that story is so big in terms of phase 1. And no one really knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was, but that's who their big bad was for the whole phase. You know what I mean? So they're doing what they need to do. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be excited for Marvel anymore, but it's just, it's hard in this new phase. And it's maybe because we don't like change and you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden it's these characters that we don't know. I have full faith in Marvel and Disney. They're going to do good stuff. I hope I can get back into the excitement that I used to have for this stuff. And you're going to still get Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You're going to get another Ant-Man movie. You're going to get another Doctor Strange movie. So there's still stuff I'm going to be excited for. It's this new stuff, and it's all these shows that are coming, and it's just like, oh, how am I going to keep up to all this? But I appreciate you calling out Moon Knight because after we're done here, I'll probably go watch the trailer because I didn't on the announcement because I didn't even realize it was a trailer. I just thought they were just announcing these things without even having any trailers. So I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, Josh, if you go on Disney Plus, if you go under the Marvel thing, there's a Disney Plus Marvel thing, and then it has like all the trailers.
Oh, it has all the new stuff. Okay, good to know.
Stuff on there.
It's fast and easy
that
to
after
get
this. Yeah, nice.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Shows a lot of stuff. Even shows like stuff on Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's coming up too, eh? Yeah.
That's coming up.
That's what I'm super excited for. I think that might be.
Excited for Hawkeye.
Oh, I'm super excited for Hawkeye. I'm a huge guy who likes heroes who don't have powers. That is my thing. That's why I love Batman so much. That's why Daredevil has powers, but it's I can still kind of chalk him up to not having superpowers.
Yeah, not as it's true.
He's not superhuman, right? He can see from his disability, but he doesn't have superpowers. So I chalk it up to that. But it's there's some great stuff, and like D Money says here, it's hard to keep track of all the new content. But hopefully we'll all enjoy it. I tweaked that a little bit, but definitely hoping that that the next bit of Marvel goodness will be just as great. Like you said, Josh, this is still the beginning of phase 2. We don't know who the big baddie is going to be. We don't know what's happening. It's like nothing has been building up yet. It's kind of getting there slow and easy.
It's just like phase 1. Like in phase 1, it's not like there was like this huge build as to what was going on. It caught fire as it kept going. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
start with Iron Man, everyone knows Iron Man, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
it's still, even that first Avengers movie, like it was a decent amount of hype around it because now you're combining all these heroes that you built up. But it was like kind of after that they're like, oh, they're starting to put all these movies together, and then it's like another Avengers, Civil War, and it's just like, holy shit. And then by the end of it, now you have Infinity War and Endgame, and it just, so yeah, it's the beginning of a phase, so it's gonna tread, it's gonna be slow, but I feel like once we hit that middle of that phase and all of a sudden all these new characters start crossing over and doing this, the excitement's gonna be right back. It's just right now I'm just like, ugh, I don't know, it's a little slow. And then you guys know how I felt about Eternals, so it doesn't help my cause at all.
Kind of
But
tempered your little.
yeah.
Well, you're not the only one. The chat is lighting up with that with people who didn't like the Eternals.
Okay.
It's a very decisive movie. But yeah, it definitely like we have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But Josh, take it away, buddy. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, so obviously Disney Plus, we're gonna keep going here. Marvel, we'll keep going. Baymax got announced. It's a sideshow for Disney Plus here. They're gonna be doing an animated series. The character based off of Big Hero 6. Baymax. Yeah, like honestly, I'll probably spend more time talking about Big Hero 6 than I will Baymax because we don't know much about what's going on. But I'm really excited that they're doing this spin-off. It's great that they can take a character that maybe isn't as well known as a lot of characters that Disney has and Marvel has. I still think there's a lot of people that don't realize Big Hero 6 is a Marvel movie. So like when I bring it up to people, I'm like, have you seen Big Hero 6? I was like, oh no. And they're like, Marvel junkies. And I'm just like, it's a Marvel movie. Like, it's not part of the MCU, but who knows? Maybe.
Who knows?
Imagine.
It could be part of their
multiverse
universe.
going on.
Yeah, so I think if you haven't seen Big Hero 6, it is 1,000,000% worth the watch. I will never forget the first time I watched that movie, and I was just blown away. I'm a big fan of BattleBots. I don't know if you guys ever watched BattleBots.
Yeah.
But it gave me that feeling of BattleBots too, because it was like these robots fighting and whatever, and then the brother creates Baymax, and he's like a first aid attendant, right? Like he will help you. He's like a servant to you, right? So he'll know what to do if you're injured and whatnot. So, and he's like this big puffy Michelin man looking thing. He's so cute, and he just and then he becomes a bit of a badass in Big Hero 6, you know what I mean, trying to help out the gang. So it's really, really cool that I wasn't expecting this at all. Like, I woke up in the morning and I saw Disney Plus making the announcements. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I'm just kind of scrolling through, kind of catching things. I see like Chip and Dale, which is cool, Rescue Rangers. But then all of a sudden, like right under that, it's like Baymax, and I was like, no way. Like, I first thought, I'm like, is this a movie? Like, I got really excited, but I'm just as excited for a TV show. So can't wait. Hero 6, watch it, please. Like, you got 3 of us vouching for it.
100%.
It is a great animated film. It's not even Pixar either, which is interesting. It's like Disney Animated Studios, which also, if you haven't seen Raya and Raya and the Last Dragon, I believe it's called.
Dragon,
Disney Animation Studios, not Pixar. Very well done. So like, they're doing stuff outside of Pixar that is well done, and Big Hero 6 is one of them. So I'm excited for Baymax. I feel like it's going to be lighthearted. It's just I don't know how much like Big Hero 6 content's going to be in there. Like, are we going to see Baymax be like that badass like mech kind of thing, you know what I mean? Or is he going to be just more like going around helping people? Is it going to be catered more to the kids? It's like Big Hero 6, you get both, right? It's just like a lot of movies where you can have like the adults are going to enjoy it, the kids are going to enjoy it. I'm interested to see if Baymax is going to be more of that kid show, just because it's like this friendly guy going around and helping people, which is an easy storyline for them. I'm going to check it out. Hopefully it sucks me in, and hopefully it catches my interest. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be upset. I'm just glad that they're making more Big Hero 6 content, because for me, that means possibly more Big Hero 6 after that fact, right? So is there going to be a second movie?
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so.
I think it did well. Like, considering it was it was very popular. Like, a lot of people loved it. So
took me and admittedly, it took me a while to watch it. So and then all of a sudden I watched it and I was like, what was I waiting for? And then I'll pitch it to anyone that hasn't seen it. I'll like, you have to watch this movie.
Yeah,
right? So
it's so good.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Baymax, but that's all I got to bring to the table there. It's a Disney Plus going crazy
Yep.
yesterday, so that's one of the announcements. Well, 3 of the announcements. We covered 3 announcements, and there was probably another 10 to 15 more.
There's a
Oh,
crap
yeah.
load.
Like
No, honestly, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah,
no,
go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say like for me, I absolutely love Big Hero 6. I love the story. I love the nods to not only Japanese culture but also San Francisco kind of mixed in there. The animation's beautiful, like you said. It's not a Pixar movie, which most of these movies are known, are associated, right? You see that people think that it is all about Pixar. It's not. This is their own studio. It was a huge success, a great story, great characters. And yeah, Baymax we don't know very much about yet. Basically, all we know is that it might be continuing off the story. I know we saw Hero in the trailer. Whether or not he's going to be part of the full series,
See in the trailer? I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, he's in the trailer. His mom's also in the trailer too. So he's there.
Rewatch
There you
it.
go, brother.
Yeah,
I was just so
you
excited.
gotta-
I threw it on the TV as soon as I came out of bed, and I'm like,
You just jumped out of bed. You're like,
Danielle, look what's coming, and I like popped it on the TV, and we just stood there and watched it. And I just really, obviously, didn't pay too much attention to what was going on. I was just so excited to see it. So
yeah, I know. Like we don't know very much about it, but it's coming. I'm happy that we're getting more of that because there was an animated show of Big Hero 6 that was a different style of animation. It was more hand drawn. I didn't really get a chance to watch it because we didn't have Disney Plus at that time, and sometimes cable does it where they'll play a new episode and then like for 4 weeks they're playing repeats of something and then they come back and it was such a pain in the ass to actually keep up with shows. So I need to get back with it, but I'm happy. I'm so happy that they're bringing back the Big Hero 6 storylines in Baymax. And like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm just excited that we're finally having something, and hopefully, like you guys said, it spawns off a new movie because I think we need a sequel.
I would love to see it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait.
It looks great. There's some great stuff that's happening, but let's continue on. We're gonna move on to our gaming news of this show, and there's some big ones. Most of the news that we're gonna be talking about, I think, aside from Josh's, is the failure of some games being taken off stores or remastered editions being complete trash. So we'll get into that one. I'm going to talk about one thing that came out this week. We found out that Bandai Namco, who is very popular for doing most of the anime tie-in games, announced this week that Jump Force, which is an anime fighting game that has all the Shogun Jump characters of anime, and they're all involved in this world, and that means Naruto. We got Dragon Ball Z, and we got One Piece, which I hate One Piece with a passion. But it's like the anime series I can't get into, and there's so many seasons. But anyways, going back to the my rant of One Piece is not going to happen here. But so yeah, we got announced by them that not only is the game going to be taken off shelves and off online stores, which means if you want it, you better pick it up before it's gone, or you can always get it from a secondhand store if you're buying digital. If you're buying physical, but the support for online is being taken off. They are abandoning production of this game, which wasn't doing very well even when it came out. It's full of bugs. It's a complete disaster. The gameplay really sucks. I purchased this day one because I'm excited. I'm a huge anime guy. I think out of the three of us, I'm the one who is representing some Naruto right here on my shirt. And I actually really, really love anime fighting games or anime games in general. But this game is so horrible from not only just the mechanics of fighting, but the storyline. The plot of this game is just absolutely just crazy, bonkers, ridiculous. Basically, what you create a new avatar, and you join a faction of either Naruto's group or Luffy's group from One Piece or Goku's character set, and you're fighting this enemy that is basically taken over certain anime characters. You have to do mini missions. It's just such a waste of time and effort doing stuff in this game. I was very disappointed with it. Like I said at the beginning, I was very excited for it because of it having so many characters I love, from Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z. There's Knights of the Zodiac. There's so many characters in this game, but this game seemed to be rushed. It seemed like they didn't know what they were doing with storyline, or were just trying to get something out to the masses. But yeah, so this game is being pulled from all forms of media. So if you guys are interested in this game, you do want to go up there and buy it now. I'm not sure if it's still in the shop. I haven't checked myself. It didn't really give a date where it was going to be taken off. So check that out if you guys. If you do like this types of games, you do want to try it out. Hopefully you can get it for sale. Hopefully they'll put it for 1 cent so you can try it.
Don't do it, guys. It's horrible.
Yeah, if you pay 1 cent, it's not too bad. But it definitely is a game that I think could have been something so beautiful. It could have been something like Smash Brothers. Instead, it's something like a train wreck. But yeah, with certain games, it's crazy because now we're at the point where most of it is highly um, online based, and I mean that as a lot of people don't really buy this game for its story. They bought it to play online with people. That's one of its major features, and that's being pulled. Of course, there's always a backlash of people who are going to miss playing this game online with people. But of course, that won't impact you on single play. The only trouble is single play isn't as fun unless you're able to have people hang out with you at your house and playing this game. But my major thing is if a game releases, it should never have to be pulled. um, that's one thing I find. And I can go on a rant of how much I hate digital games. I won't do that to you guys because we'll be here all night. But it speaks volumes for stuff that if you're gonna buy this game, you should always be able to have it, no matter what. Whether it's 5 or 10 years later, if you purchase this game, you put up some hard-earned cash, and money is not easy to come by nowadays. You should always have this on your thing. You should never have to worry about stuff being taken out. But yeah, what do you guys think about games being pulled, especially if you paid top dollar for it?
I would not be happy. And Danny, I know you said you were excited for the game. You weren't the only one, man. Like
Yeah.
I remember when this game got announced. I think it was like an E3 announcement, and
Yep.
like people were jacked up because like there's a massive anime crowd, right? Like I
Mhm.
grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, and all of a
Yep.
sudden you got Dragon Ball Z crossing over with Naruto and One Piece, and like I understand why there was so much hype around it, and I just remember it just flopping,
Yeah.
and so now it's even hard to sit here and pitch, hey, before it leaves the store, go and buy it, because if it's not a good game, it's not a good game. But for the people that put the money into it and the people that enjoy it, to just kind of get ripped out of your hands, and
Yeah.
or at least some of the features get ripped away, is like, why? I mean, I get it, the companies have to maintain their servers and stuff like that, so there's got to be ways around that. Like you can have host servers internally, right?
Yeah.
So like,
No.
I don't know. That's a tough blow, especially with those types of shows in in your game,
Yeah.
for it
Yeah.
to just be yanked away. Like that's a lot of firepower in your game,
Yep.
and it just didn't do well. I get it. It's not a standalone Dragon Ball game or standalone Naruto game, but I don't know. Like, I don't want to get too much of a rant here with you, Danny, because I'm with you. Like, I do
Yeah.
buy digital games because sometimes I just can't wait for
Yeah.
the physical to come out, and so I'll sit there and I will buy digital from time to time if I have day one option of physical versus digital. Physical every time,
Yeah.
and for reasons like this, I mean,
Yeah. It's
aside from me being selfish too and being able to actually sell my game after,
Yeah.
if I wanted to, or trade it in,
Mhm.
because if it's digital, I can't do that, right? So,
Nope.
and I can't even sell my system with digital games, because if I wipe my system to go factory default, I can't sell it to someone with
Nope.
the games on it.
It's
So
gone.
there's already, your value's gone,
Yep.
right? So that's why I'm a big supporter of physical
Me too.
media, and
Yeah.
I'm with you, Danny, and I know Rick's kind of on the same page.
For sure.
I'm not gonna lie, I buy digital. It happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good sale, and I'm not going to avoid that, but
Yeah.
there's times where I buy digital and then 6 months later the physical comes out and I'm just like, oh, I wish I waited, but I don't want to buy the game twice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough. That's a tough blow, and it sucks
It
to
is.
hear for the fans of the game. And I know I don't want to go on the tangent, but yeah, tough news. Tough news for Jump Force fans.
Yeah, it is.
But it's so weird too because there's so much potential there, right? Because you got all those franchises there, and it's a fighting game,
Yeah.
and they quickly
Yeah.
put that game together, and like there's so much potential there to make so much money off that game.
Well,
That's
Like, I mean,
crazy.
well, it's a
'Cause they
it's a fighting game with bare bones. That's the trouble.
Mhm.
It is so bare bones that you
Mhm.
you have no interest in playing it.
Tried to sell it on the that the game had. So Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, people see that, you know it's gonna sell,
Yeah.
and
You know-
and they knew that obviously, and it became unfortunately it's one of those games that just became a cash grab
Yeah.
and put a lot of effort. They probably spent money getting the licenses,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and they probably made their money back because they didn't put the resources into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You piss off a whole gaming like community, right? Like now if these creators make another game, if they decide to make a Jump Force 2 or this
Yeah,
this
nobody's-
development team
nobody's gonna
goes to
flock
make
to it.
another game, it's gonna
No one's
have
gonna-
be no one's gonna want it right from
Yeah.
they hear who it is. They're just it's tough. You got to make sure your game's ready to go. That's why a delayed game is better than a rush game. You can delay a game for a year and sure it sucks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's getting delayed, but if it comes out and it's a masterpiece, it's way easier to recover from a delayed game than it is rush a game out.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. I know we're
Yep.
gonna get off topic.
Hey,
Look
Cyberpunk.
at that.
Don't worry,
Rush out a game.
I'm gonna bring that up later on. Don't worry.
Okay. We'll leave it at that then.
But yeah, that basically is our rant of our ideas of how games should stay up if they are out. You should never have to worry about a game being taken off any server. But let's move on, Rick. What do you got for us this week? And can't wait to talk about this one.
Oh, this is even more good news. Well, Rockstar.
I felt like this is
Let's talk
coming.
about Rockstar,
Yeah,
baby.
baby. Let's do it.
I am not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan. I'm not the biggest fan,
Mhm.
but I played Grand Theft Auto 3 and I loved Vice City.
San Andreas.
So I didn't mind. I didn't really like San Andreas. Vice
Okay.
City was
Vice City's a big one. Vice
Yeah,
City's a big
my
one. I
favorite-
remember growing up with
My
that.
favorite.
my favorite game because born in the 80s music and you got the the cars and going down the I love just going down the street with them on the motorcycle listening to an 80s tune.
Yeah.
Just the adrenaline just going in my head. I'm like, fuck, I'm like the man going down the street, right? But yeah, just like going off that, like recently they brought out the trilogy, a remastered three
so
Vice City and
remastered.
San Andreas. It really isn't remastered. They didn't do anything to it, and I guess like
No, actually,
They're,
actually they did.
They did.
They actually did.
They did.
And I'll get into that one after you finish your thing. Go ahead, Rick.
There's a lot of glitches.
Did you buy
A
it?
lot of, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it.
Okay.
I'm just reading from fans. Like a lot of glitching. The rain, I guess, is blurry when it's coming down on the cars. The people's faces look like you're playing PS2 graphics back in the day. Like they didn't even update anything. Maybe they did some of the some of the stuff, but the animation, like the people's faces and everything, it looks like you're playing PS2 graphics.
Yeah.
Like they didn't remaster. In my from what I've seen, like some of the footage and I watched some of the stuff on YouTube. It looks horrible. It looks god awful, man. It looks like one of those bad wrestling games that were in the 90s. Like really, like their faces are just you can't even make out the guy's face. That's how bad it is. Like they didn't remaster it properly. For me personally, they took out a lot of the songs that were in Vice City because of rights issues over the years, which is a bummer. Sucks. I think they recently, I don't know if it's the PC version, but one of them, someone put something in there, some kind of like sex scene or some kind of coffee sex scene. So someone put that in the game. like some random people, I guess, put that in the game, so they're trying to take that out of the game. So it's a big colossal fuck. Like it's not doing great. It's being reviewed bombed on every single website that I was reading. Like people are just like really upset about this remastered edition. They didn't, and these three games were huge. Like, Grand Theft Auto was a huge franchise, and those three games were huge back in the day. Like I. Being not the hugest Grand Theft Auto game, I bought 3 Vice City and San Andreas, and I love Vice City. Is my favorite game. And I was excited for this, but I haven't got out to pick it up.
Waited. Good thing you waited, man.
So I waited, and I started like reading it up and like going, what's going on here, and then just hearing how bad it is, I'm like, no, I don't want to pick this thing up. This is horrible, man. Yeah. So that's Rockstar put out a stinker, and I guess they didn't. They put it, like you said, like before you said, Josh. It's like a cash grab. Because people are gonna buy it.
Exactly what it is here. That's exactly what it is. They're too busy. They're too busy making their money on GTA 5. Their 6th installment of GTA 5 or whatever they're on already.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is say, "Oh, here you go. You guys like these 3 games? Here we go. We'll put them in the definitive edition." I don't even know if does it say remastered in the title, because it's not remastered.
It says the definitive edition.
Okay, so I can't fault them for not remastering it because they did not put remaster in their title. So I'm cool with it looking not good, but I would also say if they're gonna make it not look good like it does, they were better off just literally releasing the same games and putting it on like freaking Nintendo did with the Mario Stars, 3D All Stars. They didn't do too much to that, right? They just kind of took the games and they just said, "Bloop, here you go." Rockstar should have done the same thing, because all they did was screw up the game even more.
Yeah.
So like, it already wasn't going to look good because it's PS2, but the nostalgia for everyone that played those games, like Rick's saying, is like, you grew up on those, so you remember them the way they are, and all of a sudden, if you make them look a little bit better, you're like, whoa, wow, it looks so good. But this, they re-released it, making it look like we remembered it looked like, and the frame rates, I've heard the frame rates are horrid, and they just put no effort into this because they knew they were going to put 3 of the best GTA games together, and people were going to eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They did. But again, this is an issue. Like, Rockstar's, that they're going to come out with a new Red Dead, or they're going to come out with a new GTA, and people are going to go buy it. This isn't going to affect them at all. Like, that's what's crazy.
No.
I know Danny probably has a lot more to say on this than I do. But yeah, I've seen the same thing. I'm on Twitter a lot, and people bought it day one because, again, same thing as you, Rick. They were excited. That's what they grew up on. They wanted it day one. It wasn't meant for like the new gen of gamers. It was meant for those people that grew up with those GTA games. Yep. And they shit all over us because like they're unplayable from what I'm seeing for the most part. And some of the screenshots I've seen from this stuff, like people's fingers are like 10 feet long.
They look like Freddy Krueger.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
looks so bad.
What a mess! What a mess! I'm glad I didn't cave on it. Like, there was part of me was like, oh, this would be cool to re-experience some of this, but I'm glad I'll just wait for the next installment. But again, I don't play GTA games that often, so I don't really care. Yeah. So, but again, it's that people will be pissed right now, and then Rockstar will come out with a new game, and they make good games like Red Dead. People love Red Dead 2. People love the new GTA. They're just waiting for a new one, right? People are starting to get frustrated with Rockstar because they're not making another GTA. They just keep putting more online content and grabbing people's money that way. Yeah. So I don't know what's up with the company. They take forever to make games, but they make quality games when they do pump them out. It's like this is a huge miss on their part, because if they made these right, man, people would have went nuts, and it would have filled that void. It would have filled the void between GTA 5 and GTA 6. People have been like real pissed about already, so they're just pissing off the community even more than they're already pissed.
Yeah,
those cockroaches.
Danny. Yeah, I'm ready to do this one, but I want to give a shout out to one of our new followers here. Wienerville, thank you so much for being here.
Wienerville.
Hey, yeah, a great nickname.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to read out his comment because I think it matches a lot from what we've been talking about tonight. Every game should have a physical version and be playable offline. I've chosen not to buy a lot of games purely because they aren't available on disc or need to be connected to the server 100% of the time. I 100% agree. I think every game should have an offline mode. Every game should be physical. There should not have to be that digital only. And I'm a lot like him. I don't know. I won't purchase the game if it's digital only. I did when I was working with Nerdy Northerners before I left them to do my own channel here. I was purchasing digital games every week to play for my shows that I would do for Nerdy Northerners. And I wasted so much money on games that were trash. They're on my my eShop list of games to download. Some games I haven't played. I haven't even touched since I left Nerdy or since I did my one live show. I find them trash. I don't find digital games to be even part of my collection because I can't hold them. I don't have them. I can't show them off. To me, every game has to be physical for me, and like he says himself, he would like to have every game at least have some kind of playable offline mode. 100% agree. But yeah, sorry, I had to get that comment.
Okay.
I really wanted to answer that one, but let's get on to this because a friend of ours here, Baseball Girl 666, she's ripped off on Rick. She's pissed off at the poor guy. And I'm gonna add some juice to the fire there. But
Some juice.
yeah, some squeezable juice. Got that lemon. Gonna squeeze it in the eye. But going on about Rockstar and this colossal trash that was released, and I'll give reasons why I think that stuff should not be, especially remastered. The reason why certain games like Mario did okay with their remaster, well, shouldn't really say like you said remastered. They touched up on controls, but it wasn't really a remastered. Nintendo does their own music for games, which means they can't lose the rights of those music, so they can use it whenever the hell they feel like it. 20 years from now, 6 years ago, whatever, they will never lose the rights. Games like Grand Theft Auto is all about rights to music. The one reason that these games suck right now because they can't use the music that made them so great. Like Rick said, Vice City is my favorite out of the set. The reason why it is because of all the 80s music. A lot of the soundtrack of Vice City, which was praised back in the PS2 era, has been taken out because they do not have the rights to use that music anymore. It was used in the original, but because of them losing the rights, you can't use it in the future games, which means these definitive versions are actually not wastes of money, but basically you're getting less of a product. If you want this game, guys, you go out and you buy the PS2 version, if you still have a PS2 to play, or you find some way to emulate it. Because if you buy this definitive version, you are losing everything that's made it great. That is gone. So if you guys are thinking that you're going to come back, you're going to listen to that amazing soundtrack, you guys are fucked. It's gone. It's trashed. I am sorry to spit in your face, but it's gone. The other reason that we're finding, and it's happening with movies, it's happening with all sources of media, stuff is being censored nowadays. Things are being taken out. We're at a more our generation is more sensitive to material than it was back even in the PS2 era, and certain things that happen in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is gone from the game to match this generation of things, and
Pussies.
Yeah, what's that?
Pussies.
That's harsh.
These days.
That's harsh.
I'm
I'm
joking.
sensitive here, man. Calm down. But the thing is, like, we have a more sensitive culture right now, So they censored a lot of stuff that was not right for certain people because they had a feeling that there would be a backlash. Even for people who had played these games, you have that backlash. Um, and that's one thing that I always find very stupid is that if something comes out, whether it be 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, there should be no censoring. If the production was done the way it was done, then it's done. It should not be changed. It falls with the times. But because this happens like that, things get censored and things change. That it's not a huge part of the game that was taken out, but you do have a lot of parts that are missing from the game because of that censorship. And the third thing, that I'm just breezing through the stuff that needs to be breezed through. Yes, the graphics, the frame rates, everything about this game is falling apart. And Rick brought up that they look like PS2 characters. No, that's not true. The faces, the faces are actually, enhanced and changed. The only trouble is they look like aliens now. They've been taken. The human body has been taken and it's been stretched as Josh brought out. Their hands are like Freddy Krueger or like the alien next door. Their faces look hideous. And there's certain characters. There was one screenshot that I was watching screenshot comparisons. There was one screenshot that had the barber from San Andreas, who was an older black gentleman that looked exactly like Morgan Freeman, and they changed him to a younger black man, which I don't understand why you do that. I don't know what that does for the plot. It literally is the stupidest things. It's probably some some tech guy in this dude's like, maybe I want to do this like this today. I'll just copy this guy's face and it'll be great. It's stupid things like that I don't understand. If the game is done, it should not be touched. We should not be losing the music. We should not be losing anything that's in the game. And graphics should have been polished. This is freaking Rockstar. Rockstar is one of the hugest gaming companies, and they brought out this definitive edition of this game that is a complete total waste of your money. And they're charging full price. This is $79.99 Canadian dollars. And the trouble is that it's funny because Patsy's bringing Baseball Girl is bringing it up. Do any of us have this game yet? To be honest, I wanted to buy this game. I really did. I've been watching reviews of it, and seeing stuff from other players and other streamers like ourselves, and they're all having the same problem. There's these issues. Whether or not it can be patched up, maybe. There's no thing that it can't be patched up, but there's a lot of issues with this game. A lot of people have different issues with it, like any other game. But from the feedback, this is the Cyberpunk of this year. Cyberpunk 2077 was a complete trash hole, and they're seeing the same thing happen with Grand Theft Auto. Everyone wants their money back. Everyone is returning the game back. Now, it hasn't released physically yet. It is just digital so far. But it is one of the most returned games of this year. The same as they were with Cyberpunk 2077. Sure, they patched it up, but it is still a mess of a game, and that destroyed it. I think Cyberpunk 2077 could have been more popular. It could have been a more successful game. It wasn't. It got destroyed. And games like Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Pack, would have been a huge, massive success for Rockstar and for the current gen of consoles. Whether or not there's going to be fixed up or stuff, that's a question that only Rockstar can answer. But
we'll add.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, go on. I'm done.
I was just gonna add. I did see someone also point out that on the PlayStation Store they used to have these games available, like the original versions, so like the PS2 versions.
Yep.
They have. This goes off our private conversation. They've pulled those from the store because its definitive version is out. which is crazy because a lot of people would probably rather be playing the original version.
Yep.
Like they've literally, so they're like, okay, we had, I don't know what the price, I'm going to make up a number.
Mm-hmm.
They had the original version on the store for $20, $25 because they've come out with this definitive edition. They're just like, nope, yoink, yoink, yoink.
Yeah.
You're going to, if you want to play it, sorry, you have to pay the $79.99 and it's part of the trilogy pack.
Yeah.
So, like, again, this isn't something that should be happening. You shouldn't have games pulled away. I kind of understand it because you're releasing this definitive edition, but it's crazy to me because you've taken away that option to buy a single game. So if you just wanted to play Vice City, maybe had that option as backwards compatibility as a digital purchase. They've pulled it. It's no longer part of the stores. So they're forcing your hand, and they took away the contents of the game. And I'll go off of Wienerville's comment here. It's not like there was a warning for anyone. Like maybe if Rockstar came out and said, hey guys, licensing issues, we're doing a definitive edition, but we're going to be missing this song.
Yeah.
We're going to be missing this content. Sorry, but due to licensing, we can't go back and redo that. But the game is still going to be good. But they'd be lying there as well.
Yeah.
Like some type of warning message like that goes a long way, because before I shouldn't have to sit here and wait for other streamers and YouTubers and reviews to come in before I run to the store on day one and spend my money. This is preventing anyone from going out release day, because I may as well wait for the content creators to put out their information, and then I can save my $80.
Yeah.
That's on Rockstar. And like Danny said, there's no excuse here. This is no indie developer. This is Rockstar. Like, you cannot tell me they're short on funds.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Not with all the content they do for Grand Theft Auto 5. I can assure you they're probably swimming in money at the office.
Oh well, this is just a cash grab. They're making money, just like Josh said. They're just bringing all this money in to make Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
If they ever decide to do it, the popularity of Grand Theft Auto 5 can push that game for another 7-8 years.
Ever.
Yeah, they don't need to worry about doing another one. All they
Rockstar has its Minecraft.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's like their Minecraft. But I think that's enough trashing on poor Grand Theft Auto. May you rest in peace. But
I'll add, Danny. Sorry.
No, go ahead,
What's sad about it for me, and we'll end it after this. What's sad about it for me is generation that didn't get to play that game. And maybe I talk to someone who's younger than me and I say, man, Vice City, what a great GTA game. I wish you would have the opportunity to play it. Boom, a definitive edition comes out. And they're like, oh, remember when that Josh guy came up to me and told me Vice City was so awesome? I'm going to go buy this game because I want to play Vice City because he said it was so good.
Yeah.
Goes out and buys this game and then hits me up and said, what the shit were you talking about?
Josh, what
this
the hell
game is
were you
horrid.
talking about?
Because now you've changed what some of the content is. So you've lost that generation, because they're going to look at the older generation and be like, what the hell's wrong with these people? This game sucks.
Yeah.
They didn't even give it a chance to be good again. And like you may as well have just released the OG games. But anyways, I'd not to keep talking about it, but I just wanted to add that point because it does ruin it for a whole generation, right? So
it does 100%. But we're gonna move on. I think that's enough trashing. All right, Josh, what do you got for us in the gaming news?
My turn. Some positive news.
Oh,
I'm a Lego guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've played some of the Lego video games.
Yeah.
Most coming up is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Mm-hmm.
Saga, however you guys want to pronounce it. I had this discussion with my wife. She was like Saga, the game company, or Saga,
buddy.
and I'm just like. So, anyways, this was supposed to release back in 2020. Actually, like it kind of kept getting pushed. COVID did its thing to the Lego game here, and like I said earlier, I'm okay with the push. I'm okay with the delay. It sucks because I was looking forward to it. Yeah. So the Skywalker Saga is going to have legitimately you're going to play through episode 1 to 9. A Lego game. This is going to be a Lego Star Wars is where the Lego game started, and then they've made like Lego Marvel, they've made Lego City, they've Lego Jurassic Park, whatever. They've gone crazy, and it's a lot of the same stuff, and like Lego games kind of get repetitive in that sense, and once you've played one, you've kind of played them all, but they're a lot of fun. It's like button mashing, puzzles, and just
Yeah, yeah.
fairly easy gameplay. But Lego Star Wars is what started it all, and there was no voice acting back then. It was just through with your lightsaber and your guns, and they had all those Star Wars noises. It was awesome, but again, no voice acting.
Wow.
They've started to implement in the Marvel games. They started to get the voice acting in.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they've added more and more and more, and the content's become greater. The Lego games are great; they're a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Now we're getting the Lego. So some of this content's going to be familiar for those that have played the Lego Star Wars games because it's those original Star Wars stories.
Yep.
Now you're going to have the voice acting. You're going to be able to play the new Star Wars series, like Episode 7, 8, 9 is going to be part of it. You're going to get those characters like Rey and Finn and all that stuff. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you're a Lego fan, you're a fan of the Lego games, this is going to be right up your alley. So it's supposed to be slated for spring 2022.
Okay.
Did want to talk about the collector's edition or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's only an extra $10. This is crazy. Okay, so like I was just gonna get the original. I pre-ordered this game because I want to play through it with my wife because we were in Star Wars last Christmas over the Christmas break, and we've become big Star Wars fans. We watched Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This $10 extra gets you a minifigure of Luke Skywalker, like an actual physical minifigure Lego of Luke Skywalker. You get a sweet Darth Vader cover on the box art, obviously the game, and then you get some character packs. So you get a Mandalorian pack 1, pack 2, get a solo pack, and a Rogue One pack. So now you get more characters.
Nice.
This game, get ready for this, is going to have 300 playable characters.
Jesus.
You're going to come past 800 different characters in this game.
That's
Obviously,
huge.
you can see everything.
That's huge.
This is a massive game.
That's
like,
awesome.
I am excited in terms of like it looks good. Like their first trailer they released like a year and a half ago. Just even like flying, like flying the fighter jets and stuff like that. I know I'm not getting the lingo right, and Star Wars fans are gonna get mad at me. But anyways, like the TIE fighters and stuff like that, like getting to fly that stuff around. It looks good. Like graphically it looks good. I think they're putting a lot of work into this game. They know the property that they have in Star Wars. Like I said, Lego, they know that this is what started the Lego video game franchise. They're putting a ton of love into this, and I'm super excited. And if you're thinking about it, I would say spend the extra $10 for the collector's edition just for that extra content alone, because that's ridiculous. Usually you're going to see like a $25 jump in a collector's edition. $10?
That's nothing.
I'm already spending $80 on the game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna spend $90 and get. Now I'm gonna get to play as maybe the Mandalorian and who else from that franchise. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be cool. Like, I'm excited. I don't know what to expect, and I've been following. It's crazy. I've been following this game for like a year because it keeps getting pushed.
Yeah,
it keeps getting pushed. I was excited for the initial release. So, again, I will rephrase. A delayed game that is made complete is much better. I'm glad they've pushed it because it would have. They know the property they have. If they rushed this game, it came out poor. It would have been bad. Like this is Star Wars, so they're being careful here. I know it's just another Lego game where you're gonna collect the pieces, build a door, and you're gonna solve a puzzle, and you're gonna get all these Lego pieces as coins and stuff and currency, but. They're obviously going to care for this game, and I honestly expect this game to be a ton of fun and actually really good in terms of Lego games, and I know most of them are good. It's just a lot of the same recipes. So I'm very intrigued, and I can't wait. Hopefully spring, it's early 2022, they're saying. Hopefully that sticks. They haven't come out with a solid date, so that's always a little iffy. But I'm holding on to that early 2022. I've got the pre-order in. I'm ready for it. I'm excited to play through this game. So I know Rick, you're a big Star Wars guy. Danny, I don't know how much you're into Star Wars. But
to be honest, I'm the least. To be honest, I never cared for Star Wars even as a young kid. It's one of those franchises that just escapes me. I'm not really into space travel. I'm not really into aliens. It's one of those things where it's like it's. I don't know. I've seen all the movies. I know the lore. I've seen everything. It's not like I haven't. The trouble is, I just can't get into it. I have no interest really into it. I don't mind Lego games, to be honest. Like, I played Lego Jurassic Park because I'm a huge Jurassic Park guy. I played the Lego Batman games.
It's
Not
mindless fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a great thing to play. But I'm not gonna lie. Some of those challenges, some of those so those things could be a real bitch. Like the
Some of
Jurassic
them were
Park.
pretty
Yeah,
challenging. Yeah.
the Jurassic Park one. I nearly wanted to rip out the last remaining hair I had in my head. There was some things in that game that really like tried my patience.
Yeah.
But
Even oh, sorry. Yeah, even like the Marvel's the Lego
Lego
Avengers game
Avengers.
too.
Yeah.
That was a
Good
fun
stuff.
game. I played that game. That game's awesome.
And they did like open world stuff with some of
Yeah.
those games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
So
did.
I'm excited because I don't know. I think I might be lying here, but I think there's gonna be like a hub world that's kind of open, and then you can kind of go like, oh, we're gonna go play episode 3, like whatever. So you can kind of go who you want, where you want. Obviously, I don't think you'd be able to. Maybe you take
never know,
Ray
yeah.
and play in episode 1. I doubt it, but it'd be kind of cool and crazy. But yeah, so I think there's going to be some type of hub that keeps it a little open because, like you bring up the Marvel game, that was very open world, which is kind of cool to see Lego do. You could kind of swing around as Spider-Man, and I see Wienerville is excited in the comments from the UK.
Yeah.
He's watching our
UK.
show,
He's
or
one of our
she,
UK
he,
friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's exciting time to be a Lego Star Wars fan, and I'll have more Lego Star Wars to touch on in a little bit. But yeah, it's exciting. That box art gets me excited alone for the collector's edition. I think that Vader box art, that Lego Vader with the red saber, is just so badass. And it's just like,
it
and
is.
some places are also doing a steelbook with your pre-order, and it's like Lego Han Solo in the ice capsule, and
Wow,
he's
that's
just like,
awesome.
but it's the steelbook. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's some cool stuff to get added on to your pre-orders if you're looking around where to pre-order. Just keep an eye out and maybe get a little bit more content with what you're ordering.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny too, like how you're saying it's $10 more to buy the pack that you want. You think of the resale value, guys, and I bring it as Lego has a very strong resale value. So I can see this Luke Skywalker piece.
The
of
minifig
Lego.
alone.
It's gonna be a shitload of money down the road. There'll probably be a guy at one of the fan expo or something who's selling that same figure for $320. Like
On the road, you never know, man,
yeah,
because there's only so many. There's only gonna be so many collector's editions sold.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, only so many people are gonna have that Luke Skywalker piece.
Yep.
So,
You got, $10 is better.
5 years,
Yeah.
30 years down the road, all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at this rare Luke Skywalker minifig that I've got, right? So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's what it is being a collector. You never know what's gonna make you money down the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this game out because like you say, Josh, I'm a Star Wars fan too. So
Star Wars guy, yep.
yeah, I'm a Star Wars guy.
I mean, it's episode 1 through 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're playing through the Star Wars story with Lego. That's
for
fun.
sure, yeah.
With so many characters too. You got lots of characters
yeah.
to choose from.
Massive.
It-
I'm excited.
It's funny when I started liking Star Wars, it was when Episode 1 came out, when Phantom Menace came out.
Okay, nice.
And it's funny because I was born in the '80s, so I didn't grow up on the Star Wars when I was a kid. But when Episode 1 came out, and when the prequel series came out, I became a fan.
Nice.
I
Nice,
started
man.
loving it, yeah. So
Awesome.
and now all these shows coming out, and you got Book of Boba Fett coming out on
know,
December
I know.
29th.
We talk a lot about Star Wars. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's coming, buddy.
lots of good stuff coming up, but we should move on. We're gonna talk about our collectible news now, guys. We've gone through our movies, we've gone through our gaming news, and now let's talk about collectibles. And of course, collectibles is very different for all of us. One man's collectible could not be another's, whatever. But everything is a collectible out there, whether you think it is or not. I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people, there might be a lot of people here in the chat who are actually very excited with this. Now, a lot of you know Valve and Steam, and I'm sure a lot of you have known that there is going to be a portable Steam Deck system that is a full-blown computer, that is a handheld, kind of like the Switch, that you can take your games with you wherever you go. There's the picture of it, which basically looks like a wider version of the Switch. And And this was originally stated to come out this year. Of course, with COVID, the pushes with the parts that they can't make fast enough and stuff, you know, it is going to be pushed back to the beginning of next year. They're saying 2 months after Christmas. That's when they're planning to start shipping some of these systems to people who have pre-ordered the systems. Of course, you can't buy this in stores. This is only through Valve's website. So if you guys are interested, there are 3 models to this, each being a little more expensive than others. I think the cheapest model is 500 and something Canadian. So you got to round it up depending on where you live, whether you're paying by pounds or US dollar. It's very, very different for everyone, the price point, but this is a great alternative to people who may not be fans of just having a Switch, or people who, like myself, is more of a traveler. So my Switch is always with me. That's one of the main things you always see in my hands, is my Switch. It comes with me everywhere. And for people who have long commutes, or they just like taking their handheld with them, this is a great thing. People who have a large collection of Steam games, you can take all your Steam games on the go, play it wherever you feel like playing it. And the other cool thing is that this is actually a computer. You can hook this up to a monitor or a TV or a projector, whatever you want to hook it up in, and you can play your games. You have your system with you. If you don't want to pay top dollar for a gaming laptop, you don't need to anymore. You have this. Of course, the screen's not as big or is not as beautiful as some of the laptops, but this is a great alternative to people who want to take their Steam library with them. And of course, for me, like, I'm a huge, like I said, handheld guy. I've always preferred handhelds over consoles, which is why I love my Switch, because it's a hybrid of both. But the cool thing is being able to take this anywhere. It's your PC. You can actually load an operating system on it. You can play games outside of your Steam account. And Valve supports that 100%. They've said it on their website. You can research it up and how to do it. A great alternative. The only thing, like I said, for me, it's one of those things where I was thinking about buying it. I had that thing. Maybe I should try it. I should buy it for myself because it might be cool. The only trouble is I have one reason why I don't buy it. I hate digital gaming. So it's one of those things where it would be a waste of money for me. But it's a collectible because, like I said, it's not available in stores. It's not like you can go to your nearest Best Buy or Target in the States, or Walmart, whatever, and pick this up. So it's going to become very rare. And the track record of other consoles who have competed with Nintendo throughout the years, what's happened to them. They're all out of the market. Nintendo has destroyed all of them. Hopefully this is great for people who really want to enjoy their Steam library, and it's just a great alternative to people who don't want to buy a Switch. What about you guys? Does this interest any of you?
Not really.
No.
But kind of. I get what they're doing in terms of, like, a Steam library is massive, so to be able to just have like some high quality games in a handheld form.
Yeah.
I totally understand the appeal, and I don't know, I'm just a big Switch guy like you, Danny. Yeah. So, like, but in terms of, this is great for the indie scene as well. Again, yep. I know I've mentioned in previous show, I'm a big indie guy, so like indies are very much available on PC. And the reason I started playing so many indies, I'm gonna give the Switch a ton of credit, because a lot of those indies feel right in a handheld mode.
Yeah.
And just so to give yourself that library of indie titles on Steam is massive. Be able to play those in your hand is just going to help the indie scene, as well as, like, you're going to be able to, like, God of War and what other PlayStation game did they announce coming to PC? But you're going to be able to play some of these games, like these massive games that you would never think back in the day that you'd be able to play in the palm of your hand. So I get the appeal. I'm not saying that I obviously, it interests me. I'm a gamer, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm willing to spend $600-$700 on a handheld gaming piece. That's the other thing, is like the Switch, I'm getting a hybrid at a fraction of the price, where and I know this can kind of be a hybrid, like you're saying, Danny, because you can hook it up to a monitor. It's just not as simple as plugging it into a dock and all that stuff. But great news for gaming in terms of Steam Deck. I think the concept, well, it's not an awesome concept because the Switch already had it,
Yeah.
but to take that concept and then say, here you go, here's your PC gaming at the palm of your hands, because they obviously saw how well the Switch is doing. Fantastic. I'm happy for the PC gamers. It gives them another avenue to, instead of sitting at their computer desk or on their laptop, they can take it on the go with them, depending on what they need for connection, internet connection. I don't know how that's all going to work, but I'm sure that's all figured out. Yeah, so it's exciting. It's exciting news for gamers. I think that's a great play by Steam and to release the Steam Deck. I don't know how comfortable that looks to hold though.
Yeah, and it has it's funny, under the right hand joystick, there's actually a motion, kind of like a touchpad.
I see that.
Basically it is like your mouse pad. It's, from what I know from early from what I heard about early hand test with the system, is that it is comfy. The only trouble is that when you're using that, it does kind of tension your hand, so you will kind of get hand cramps, which
Still like that analog placement. That's what's throwing me off. Like that right stick at the top there.
Yeah,
so far to the top.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
I haven't used it. I don't know. Maybe it feels different in your hands. That's the only thing that's sketchy to me, is that right stick way up there, especially if you're going to start playing shooters or whatever in your hand.
Yeah,
that is not an ideal placement for a right stick.
No.
That's all the way up there, man. And then you got like the buttons. The buttons look like they're like falling off to the side there. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. It might not be for everyone, but it's out there. If you guys are looking for that, you don't want to pay for top dollar for a gaming PC, you can pick up this. It's half the cost. You can take it anywhere with you. You can even hook up a laptop. You can hook up your mouse. You can hook up your keyboard to it, or you can have a Bluetooth keyboard, mouse, whatever. Cool. It gives you the option. So if you guys are looking for that, you hit the Valve's website, and hopefully you might be able to get a pre-order. Do not go, do not try and get it from anywhere else, because you're going to be paying even more. But let's move on. Rick, what do you got for us in collectible news, buddy?
I'm going to talk about Funko Pops. Marvel, since it's the Christmas time, they are releasing some Christmas Pops from Marvel. Mm-hmm. They brought out a couple. They brought out gingerbread characters from Marvel, so it's kind of cool. When I got my Spider-Man Pops, I looked over at GameStop, and they had a couple of the Marvel Pops.
Yeah.
They were Marvel characters, but in gingerbread gingerbread man. So they had like Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man. Actually, they didn't have Spider-Man. Otherwise, I would have got it, but because I only collect Spider-Man Pops, right? So, but yeah, they had a bunch of the characters. They had Hulk, they had Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Thanos. Pretty much like all the main, like the big characters anyway from Marvel. But yeah, they had, like, when I was there, just like, because it's the Christmas season, so they had the gingerbread characters from Marvel. It was kind of cool when I was just taking a look at the Pops there. So
tasty. They look tasty. They might want to put a disclaimer on the box: do not eat.
Do not eat us. But it's crazy. It's crazy how like I said, I'm a huge Funko guy. We kind of all are, but I did not expect Funko to still be this huge.
I know, it's crazy.
This many years. Like, it's great to see how some of my investments are almost hitting the $1,000 range.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Well, yeah, it's like, for people who love Christmas and love Marvel Universe, this could be a really cool set for you guys to get.
Yeah, or if you know a Funko collector and it's just that type of it's that time of year, and maybe they don't even realize they're out, and it'd be a cool little thing to get for Christmas. It's just very it's very themed for the time of year, right? So very cool. It's neat that they do those types of things, and might be one of those things that you end up seeing in like a clearance section later down the road, maybe. But it may also be things that increase in value because it's a one-time make. Maybe that's the only Christmas you see them at, right? So that's where you kind of got to like.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, right? So I'm kind of thinking maybe they might be valued, because they're pretty. They didn't have a lot of them there. Maybe they're pretty rare. Maybe it's just for this season, and
never know. That's the beauty of collecting these
it's
things,
a trick.
right?
You never know. You never know what you're gonna get.
They just put them all there, and they want you to buy them all. But
Merry Christmas! Bam.
I'm definitely not doing that.
Yeah, no. My collection is right gigantic enough as it is. The only thing I'm going for is my main sets. I've already locked myself down. I can't. I'm not gonna keep going on, but we're gonna move on with this one, guys. Josh, what is your news, buddy, for the week?
Back to the Lego for the Lego guy, right?
Lego man.
Yeah, they recently, and it's gonna go Lego Star. I'm gonna talk Lego Star Wars again. They recently announced this giant AT-AT.
It's massive.
It's massive. It is. We talked about Titanic last week.
Yeah.
At 9,000 pieces, which is huge and 4.5 feet long. This AT-AT is over 6,000, 6,600 pieces.
Jeez.
Retailing at $799.99 Canadian. Very expensive, but 6,600 pieces. Stands to 24.5 inches tall. So you're looking at 2 feet tall once that thing gets standing. So I was watching some guy on YouTube actually review it, and he plopped it down on the table, and like it's taller than the box it comes in, and it's cool. Like as you can see in the pictures Danny's kind of showing there is it has a compartment there. So if you have a bunch of minifigs, like if you get a collector's edition Star Wars, Lego Star Wars game, and you want a place to put your Luke Skywalker and keep him safe, you can punch them into the AT-AT there. It opens up on the side, and you can store a bunch of your minifigs. It's a really cool picture at the bottom right there that Lego took of the guy like propelling down from the AT-AT there. So I just thought this is another really cool piece. Obviously, I'm picking these expensive Lego pieces to talk on the show because I'm probably not going to buy them. So I'm going to talk about them and pretend like I do have this thing, and because I really want it, and it would be such a fun build. But it looks awesome. I mean, they have an AT-AT already out, and it's like probably $150, but it obviously doesn't come anywhere near the scale of this one, right?
Yeah.
So 2 foot tall Lego piece, that's pretty damn cool. Like that would be a sweet displayer piece if you're again a big Star Wars person and you're willing to drop $800 on Lego. That's probably going to take you at least 20 to 30 hours to build, just a heads up. So it's an investment. It's an investment. This probably will go up in value, and you'll get your money's worth in terms of build and the amount of Lego pieces you're putting together. But it comes with a ton of minifigures there too, as you can see along the bottom. So
yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's not up for pre-order yet on the Lego site, but it's coming soon. So if you're willing to drop that amount of money and you're a Lego person like me, then keep an eye out on that one. But yeah, really cool piece for Lego and Star Wars fans.
You know what's kind of cool too? I don't know, Josh, if you know, but if you remember a show called Mighty Max back in the 90s.
Do not remember that show.
It's almost like that concept where you have like those characters in there. Like you would open up like something and you would put these little characters inside.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that concept. They
cool.
used to have toys they had an animated series and they also had toys back in the 90s. And you basically put your little figures in the kind of like in a dome, and they open up and you put these little figures in. It's very similar to that, actually. It's pretty cool.
It was
really cool.
It was basically the Polly Pocket, if you remember that.
I know Polly Pocket.
Yeah, so this was the male version of Polly Pocket. The animation was actually really cool, but yeah, that's exactly kind of like the idea where I'm getting from with all the attachments of putting the AT-AT in there with all the little characters.
That's so cool.
And it reminds me of it.
I'm just seeing here, D Money remembers it.
Yep. He's older than me, so
yeah. But it's insane. It's insane, these collections though. The price points of these sets
wild,
are just
man.
like last week your Titanic was like $899. It's like, oh my god. But it's
Hopefully,
just
the next one's like 1,000 or something.
yeah. The next one will be like
Lord.
1,500. It's just like
I
you just
know
can
it's
throw
a
it up.
lot. It sounds like a lot for Lego, and
Mhm.
I've said it before. You're getting your money's worth, and it sounds like a lot of money. It's tough for me to justify $800. I'm not going to sit here and say
Yeah.
go spend $800 on Lego. But if you're going to spend that $800 on Lego, you're going to see the value in it, and you're probably going to end up with a really cool manual in there as well that has a lot of fun facts about the Lego and just how well they put this stuff together. And
Yeah.
like that's where you got to think the amount of time it takes someone to come up with the concept and make sure the build is right. Like when you're building these things and you're seeing the pieces line up and you're just like, I can't believe they're doing this. You kind of just
Yeah.
it's awesome. The
Cool, man.
mechanics of it all, it's just like it's crazy. So when you have that big of a piece, I get the price point, and it's a shit ton of money. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's I talk about them and I dream about them, so I bring them to this show, and I don't spend any more than $150 to $200 on a Lego set myself. So
Yeah. You have to kind of draw the
Yeah.
line there, kind of thing. But yeah, it is a massive set. So guys, don't forget to go and buy it. I want to see someone on the show pick that thing up so I can watch them put that together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If anyone
I like
wants to
that.
donate, we'll put on a Patreon page, and you guys can start donating, and then maybe one stream I'll sit here and build it for you guys. Oh, look at that! Yeah.
You're doing the Titanic. It's just like 5 weeks later, you're still in the
Still
hall.
put it-
Yeah, it's that
Doing the whole
SpongeBob
piece.
meme.
Yeah.
5 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like you're at like looks like you haven't had sleep in like forever, and you're just like you're trying to put the thing like, oh fuck me.
All
But
pieces not fitting in. Like, God damn it.
oh man, it's good stuff. But that's where we should end it, guys. We definitely we went a little
We're
wild
almost 2
tonight,
hours.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went a little extreme, but we had fun. Hopefully, you guys had fun too, and thank you all of you guys for joining in on the comments. Of course, we had some new people here. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button before this past week, watching me play some Warface here on the channel. So thank you guys so much. Rick, where can these lovely people find you if they haven't found you already?
Well, you can find me on Twitch, Rick Under the Web. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a group page called Nerd Central, and I also have a YouTube channel. I just started recently, and it's also called Nerd Central. So if you could find me on all 3 of those, and I should have some future content once I get a new microphone for my PS5.
You
So
mean
then I can
you
start-
mean a camera?
Or a camera, sorry. So I can, yeah, so I can start doing some gaming, doing
Nice.
some more
Nice,
shows.
dude.
So
Now,
yeah, that's where you can find me.
okay, this one's my best part. Josh, buddy, where can they find you?
You guys know what's coming. Through.
This is my favorite part of the show.
Whoop. There you go. That's where you find me. Twitter
Yeah.
at Indie Loop. Those are zeros. Instagram, staying in the loop. Facebook, staying in the loop. Twitch, I change it up a little bit and I just go with my gamer tag, twitch.tv/CarrHero.
I like
And like Rick, I'm also on YouTube now. So if you search staying in the loop on YouTube, that's where I put some of my playthroughs that I do on Twitch. So I'm still playing my Detroit Become Human playthrough right now on Twitch, and I'm doing that once a week, and usually on Mondays or Tuesday, whatever works out best for me. And then yeah, I post some news on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, if you miss it the first time, there it is again.
I don't think we're gonna miss that.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I appreciate the follow if you guys want, if you find me entertaining, and I'll pass it over to Danny. Big shout out for Danny though. Birthday week
Thank you.
coming up for this week. So I don't know if we're gonna have a show next Saturday because I think we're gonna be celebrating.
Yeah, so
think we are.
like Josh says, me and the boys here, we're gonna be taking the night off to celebrate my birthday. So there won't be a new show next weekend. It will be the weekend after, but I will be doing some shows throughout the week. So if you want to come celebrate me throughout my birthday week, I would love to have you on the channel. But don't forget, guys, do hit these two up with a follow. Hit them up whether they're on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. They're everywhere. Of course, you see all my handles down there. You don't need me to tell me my stuff because you guys already know that. But as always, guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, what's left of it, because we won't be on tomorrow. Much love to everyone who's been here on the channel. Boys, thank you so much again for always being here as on every Saturday, talking about all this great stuff. Make sure you guys stay here. We're going to raid another channel, so Have a great one. See you all, not next week, but the week after for the
Thanks for
video
watching,
Nike post.
everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
so much.